So I'm on the third season of a show called Outlander, and I made a stunning discovery. Now, this is the top show on Stars. Weird, right? I believe this 2014 series is all about the rise of the Trump presidency, accurately depicting his mother as the character Claire Fraser from the Isle of Lewis in Scotland. Now, what makes this even more intriguing is that this film is all about a circle of stones through which time travel is possible. The stones depicted in the series are in the very place where Donald Trump's mother was born. This is a chapter right out of Baron Trump's marvelous underground journey. This is Scotland. These are the standing stones on which Outlander, the Star series, was based, right out of the Isle of Lewis. And here's where Trump's mother was born, 14 miles and 77 degrees away. Now, in the book and the series, the stones were associated with druidic witchcraft, human sacrifice, and dark magic. Sacrifice was required to travel through the stones for certain people. Notice the 58-degree north parallel of the stones. And of course, Trump Tower is 58 stories tall. Now we know why. It was an ode or recognition to his Gaelic roots. Now, his mother died at 88 years old. So now we have a Back to the Future scenario. Biff as Trump. Now, Trump is very proud of his Scottish heritage, and he's invested heavily in Scotland. In fact, he spoke in Scotland 88 days after the 88th day of the year about his Scottish investments. And in 2008, he visited the Isle of Lewis, the place where the standing stones are and his mother was born, to see his mother's home. But we're just at the tip of the iceberg with this. The series centers around a great battle between the Redcoats and the Highlanders of Scotland, who wanted independence from England. Claire knows that the final Jacobite rebellion will end in the defeat and the end of the Highland way of life through the evictions of the clans. And she knows this because she traveled back in time. So the history books talked about this Jacobite rebellion and how it failed. Well, Trump's great-grandparents were at the center of what was called the Highland Clearances, which were the result of the Jacobite rebellion. The exact same plot as Outlander is mirrored in the history of Trump's family. So, were there any characters in the book or the film who shared the same last name as Trump's mother? Yes, there were. Granny MacLeod. That was Trump's mother's maiden name. And Granny MacLeod died in the arms of the time traveler, Claire Fraser. The fictional MacLeod sharing the same surname as Trump's mother. Now, of course, there's a lot of MacLeods in Scotland, but we're talking about a specific series from a specific place, a specific time. Claire and Trump's mother even shared the same occupations and life experiences. They were both domestic servants, hospital volunteers, spoke Gaelic, involved in real estate. Claire Fraser helped Jamie, her husband, collect the taxes for the tenants at Lollybrock Estates. And they also work with disabled adults and an affinity for helping the downtrodden and the disabled. Trump's parents lived in Jamaica Estates, an upper middle class area of Queens, New York. And in the fictional character, Claire traveled to Jamaica to rescue her husband's relative. In fact, much of the third season is set en route to or in Jamaica, where Claire buys a slave actually to set him free. Trump's mother was mugged on Halloween 1991 and suffered long-term injuries for the remainder of her life. Now let's get into Claire's husband, Jamie, in the series. Her husband, I believe, is the Trump character. He's a Scot with red hair who battles the English through much of the first couple seasons. He's a Highlander from Scotland fighting for their independence and freedom and rights. But then later in his life, he becomes a Freemason printer, as you can see here. So how does this stack up against Trump? Well, 3 of Trump's friends in this bar mitzvah picture joined the elite, just as Trump would. And 2 of his friends in this picture were printers. Let's take a look at Trump's grade school multimillionaire elementary school friends. Mr. Eric P. Seven, president of Petro Incorporated, a subsidiary of Petroleum Heat and Power Incorporated since November 1979, chief executive officer and chairman of the board of Petroleum Heat and Power Company since January 93, and executive officer of Energy Gas LLC, president of ORTEP of Pennsylvania Incorporated and Petrol Crystal Petroleum Company, Inc. Next on the list, Peter Bryant, who's worth $500 million. He's the chairman of White Birch Paper and CEO of Brant Publications. And finally, Paul Onish, president and CEO at the Envelope Printer Company. I don't know about you, but nobody in my grade school pictures went on to be a multimillionaire, let alone 4 of my friends in one picture. I guess we didn't go to the right schools. And we're supposed to believe he's not one of them. And I argue he's the very definition of one of them. So what does this all mean? A 2014 series that so closely resembles the life of a man that wouldn't be president for almost 3 years. Stories of time travel, witchcraft, human sacrifice, and political drama. It could mean nothing, or it could mean everything. One thing's for sure, nothing is what it seems. Take care and be safe, you guys.
And the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day.
How do you take a trip like that and come back to life as you knew?
And let it divide the waters from the water. And let it divide the waters from the water. And God made the firmament. And God made the firmament. And divided the waters which were...
I had been, in many ways, further than the moon, on an even more impossible journey. But maybe it was enough to have gone one.
We close with good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you.